When you love politics and when you love explaining politics, what is better than covering a general election that was literally the most complex, the most dynamic election that we've probably had in a generation? And also, this was the first time we'd shared political correspondence between regions.
The Tories and Labour are really focusing in on their core vote, and you can't get much closer to Labour's core than the North East.
Sometimes it can be difficult to kind of portray that national story in a regional way, and we're trying to localise this big picture. Actually, it was about the little picture this time. It was about each constituency. Berwick is over 300 miles from Westminster, but it couldn't be more central to this election. Some of the most fun moments from the year are those moments that were never really supposed to happen. The Lib Dem candidate was doing an interview with me and I just happened to chip in, would you like to see Nick Clegg? He hasn't been up to visit. And his reply was, no.
He's not the most popular politician in the mainstream political circuit at the moment, and I'm not convinced that his presence here would actually do us many favours.
And you just see the wheels coming off the publicity bandwagon before your eyes, really.
In our poll earlier this year, you told us immigration is the issue you care about most in this election.
What we've really tried to do this year is take the views of our viewers to the people at the top, because they can't do it. They can't just walk into Downing Street and say, "Oi, Prime Minister, what are you going to do about immigration?" It is our responsibility to do that. And I do think as a broadcaster, we do that a lot better than other broadcasters.
What we are doing is scaremongering. We talk about immigration, 30% of doctors actually are born abroad, 40% of nurses in this country are born abroad.
It's about time you politicians stop arguing and infighting and everything else that you're doing, got off your backside and dealt with the problems of the country.
Conservative majority.
To be that close to the story, to be 20 metres from where the Prime Minister is sitting right now having conversations about who to put in his cabinet is just mind-blowing. I know that when I'm 80 and sitting in a nursing home, I'm going to bore some people rigid with the stories from this year because I have absolutely loved it.
We've been trying to use, lightweight new technology for broadcasts for the last decade, and it's been getting better and better with the SIM card-based technology and the smaller satellite dishes that we can plug into these units. We can broadcast and we can be a lot more flexible, and I think a good example of that was in Budapest.
So Richard Gaisford is there at the station in Budapest. What is the reason why the policy has been changed, Richard?
And we were there live with the live view unit that morning, just as the gates opened, and to see suddenly this kind of massive humanity rushing past us, all trying to squeeze into the station, all trying to squeeze themselves onto trains was quite incredible, and it just gave us the ability to exclusively deliver those pictures live.
David Cameron is going to
put ourselves right on the edge of the dock, watching these people coming ashore, thanking God that they were alive, having made the most awful journey. All of the broadcasters with all of the satellite dishes were a block away on the other side of the hotel with a very kind of faceless kind of backdrop, something that didn't really tell the story. And we had the new spotter dish, which is a small, lightweight satellite dish that plugs into a live view or an AviWest. And we were able to take that, put it on the beach just in the right place, and plug the AviWest into it and broadcast from the beach. And again, it just changed the way we could tell the story, brought something different to the audience, and actually, was very different from what other broadcasters have been doing across the weekend. You're never 100% with any of the technology, be it a fully blown satellite dish or a little MiFi dongle that I plug in and use with my Mac, and a little video camera and stand in front of and do it all myself. I think the pictures we've managed to get, considering our limited resources, have been pretty good, and we've been able to tell the story in our own way.
It's been a different year for me because I've been involved in something that I'm really, really enthused about, which is this project to bring people from the regions to come and do attachments here at Network News. It started off as a conversation with Michael Jeremy and has grown into a programme that we're doing. We're going to start hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and it will roll out all the way through to next year. And the big hope is that we can continue this year on year.
Is why students still want to return to grants after the break.
You'd see reporters, we'd see presenters coming down from different regions to do weekend shifts, but it didn't translate into the gallery or the studio floor. I don't want people to feel they're coming to network news to be told, oh, you shouldn't do it like that. I want people to come and say, we do something like this, you do something like that. It's kind of meet in the middle. I want my staff to go to the regions too to see how things work. You know, we don't have the joy of opt-in here at Network News, although we do London into evening news, and that's a challenge on its own. And you know, there are lots of things I've seen when I've gone around the regions. They go in the galleries at 3 o'clock, these guys, and they work all the way through until 6:30, and you know, that's pretty full on. So I was invited to the production specialist forum a couple of weeks ago, and I walked into the room and there's all these people I suddenly know, you know, smiles and kisses. Great, that was great, because a couple of years ago I would have gone along, and aside from a handful of people, I wouldn't have known anybody. I want people to sort of go away from this knowing they now have colleagues at Network News they can ask a question about. There might be a desk problem, there might be some tricky lighting issue. For me, this is a personal high to be allowed to do something like this, and I really, really do feel part of the ITV family.
There's a lot more hunger and drive and chase, and they enjoy the thrill of it in our new team, and I have a lot more opportunity to just go out there, find the people that are the heart of the story, and try and get more exclusives for our programme.
He says he saw no signs of extremism.
This year a family of 12 went out from Luton and ended up in Syria. We went down on the day that everybody was there. We obviously didn't get anything that day, but it was by sticking around for the extra day and then going back when it was quiet a couple of days later that we managed to secure an exclusive interview.
They were like best friends. Now all this dream, everything is destroyed.
Following UKIP for 6 weeks was quite chaotic. That's how I prefer things. I'm the producer that always tries to go around the back and gets the cheeky soundbite, and I really enjoyed the fact that he was going out and speaking to real people because you just didn't know what was going to happen. I was really proud on election night that we did get Rohit on air speaking to Nigel Farage before the election results, which I don't believe happened with any of the leaders. And that was from calling every single hotel in Margate to try and find out where he was going to be, and somebody let slip about a big UKIP party that was happening.
God help us. But
I'd have to thank Meridian so much, because when Farage resigned, it was in Broadstairs, there was no phone reception, and that was the reason why other broadcasters didn't get reaction live. We managed to, because when we drove up to that location, there was a Meridian dish, and I think you can see me running frantically in the background. What I'd like to say to the regions, I'll make a pledge to you: if you want me to chase something for you, I have this time to be able to go out and knock again and knock again. I'm always happy to share that, because you get a lot from the relationship both ways.